everyone. My name is Jonathan Cook, and I have with me my very good friend, Kayla Sharp. Kayla, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Absolutely fabulous. We're going to take a few minutes and tell you a little bit about the Southern States Conference. First of all, I want to let everyone know I am so honored to be the MC this year. And we all know that NARPM is a volunteer organization, but actually, last year, Kayla, you received the Volunteer of the Year Award for 2023. Could you tell me what it is about NARPM that makes you want to volunteer?
Absolutely. First of all, I was very surprised about that. I wish somebody could have got my face on video, but honestly, we've been in NARPM for about 8 years. We're in the industry as well. We just had our 10-year anniversary for our company. And NARPM gave me so much in the beginning when it came to education. And I just feel like I want to give back to that. And sometimes I get a little worn down, but honestly, every time I go to an event and I see that new generation of PM where something clicks and, they see that light, and I'm like, that's why I do it. And I love it so much. And I also love the planning part of it and the control a little bit, but yes.
Well, this year we're going to be down in Sandestin, and we're going to be at the beautiful Hotel Effie. Could you tell me what makes you most excited about, us being down in Sandestin at the Hotel Effie?
Absolutely. So at first I was a little nervous about the location, which I shouldn't be. I should really trust in Tal Kramer, who's been our mastermind of sourcing these venues for Southern States. He has such compassion for our affiliates and our attendees, where he produces these areas that are really collaborative, where they really have to cross paths a lot at the event. So I love that about it. But with that, I had never been to Sandestin. So a couple weeks ago, I went ahead and went down just because I had to physically be there. And the space is great. It's so clean. But I will tell you, once you're there, you're not going to want to leave. So you're going to want to stay at Hotel Effie or one of the condos. And not leave the space, because when you come down, all the food and the convention is all so close. And I was nervous that it was, between a convention and a hotel, a conference center, but it's probably about 20 steps. And then in addition to that, for those who haven't been to the Baytown Wharf, when I tell you it's right there, maybe a quarter-mile walk, maybe, and there's shops and entertainment and nightlife and a marina. So like I said, you're not going to want to stay off-site. You're not going to want to stay in Destin and drive in. You're going to want to stay right there. You're going to want to park your car and just spend a few days.
Get locked in and, scooch up next to all your other property managers and hang out and have a good time, right?
Yes.
Well, now, Kayla, you said something earlier that, makes me have to say this. I think anybody that knows you really well knows that you love a good theme. Mm-hmm. You're into planning. You get that stuff, nice and together. Could you tell us about the theme for 2024 Southern States Conference?
Absolutely. Actually, last year at the Come Together Groovy Theme Southern States, we sat Tal Kramer, Jessica Foster, Christy Lake, and myself as all the co-chairs for Southern States. And there was an idea of peaches and oranges. It just came to me because Georgia peach and Florida orange, and it's really taken off from there. And so we're being so intentional about how we're using that throughout the space. And so I'm just really excited about that. But we are doing the perfect match because we're the perfect match. So there's a little bit of a golf flair to it because we are at a golf resort. And so some of the social nights are really leaning into that, and it's going to be really exciting.
That's really exciting. I'm sure we're going to have so many balloons, Kayla. I can picture infinite balloons.
You guys know I love balloons. I get asked every conference if I made the balloon arches, and I'm like, never in a million years. I did it one time and I'll never do it again. But it's just, you want people to feel really valued. In Southern States, it's such a special, different conference. And so bringing in some of these more like important little pieces for our attendees is really important to me.
Well, what would you say to someone that's kind of sitting on the fence trying to decide which conference they should go to, and they're kind of thinking about Southern States, but they're not quite sure?
Yeah, absolutely. So for Southern States, again, with it just being such a gem, given that it's been this Georgia-Florida collaboration year, there's just been from both sides, just everyone putting forth their best foot. And so we're just bringing in some of the greatest social nights and the spaces where people can really chat, because even outside of the classroom, that's where you're learning the most from other property managers. So just really being intentional on those spaces. So for me, I've been to a lot of events. I've sat through a lot of NARPM education classes, but every single time I go to any NARPM event, I get something out of it. And I just feel like this event is going to produce even more of that. So, I know we're all busy individuals. We have companies, we work a lot, we have families. It's the end of August. Like, I totally understand, but taking a few days and just getting refueled by all that we're going to give you at this conference is a no-brainer to me.
So, Southern States it's the first conference that I ever went to in property management. It was my very first NARPM conference. And I personally love Southern States. If you could pick one thing that you're most excited about to share with, Southern States Conference attendees, what would that be?
Hands down, the education. Chris Bruce, Matt Tringali, and Trent Ratliff have absolutely knocked this out of the park. They have been so thoughtful about where our industry is going and what we need. And they're bringing in people from all over the United States, and they're in our industry, which was so important to me and important to a lot of us, is that we're in such a niche market. So getting people that truly understand what our day-to-day is like and how to help us, because it's property management, right? So it's hard. It's that lineup is blowing my mind, and I'm kind of sad because I'm part of being on the planning committee is I can't go to everything, but there will be some spots where I'm like, no, I have to hear this person speak. There's so much great content coming.
So as the MC, I was looking at the education lineup as well. And like, I'm going to be focused on, I'm going to be on the stage. I've got to come up and introduce people. There's so many classes and breakouts that I've been looking at and like, okay, if I get off the stage, if I can finish what I'm saying right at 10:15 or whatever the time is, I can run and I can make it to this class, because exactly what you're saying is what I'm so looking forward to. There's so many good classes are going to be there. This is by far one of my favorite conferences. It was the first one that I ever got to go to, and so it's always got a great place in my heart, and that's why I'm so honored to be the MC this year.
We're so excited to have you. I remember you saved my tail at a Atlanta chapter event a few years back where we threw like a Monopoly event, and we realized we're like, oh no, we don't have anybody to run this game. So you just stepped in and that was a great chapter meeting. And so whenever I saw your name come up for this, I was like 100%. Yeah.
I would have had a monocle. It could have been better.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Or a top hat.
I think we had a top hat somewhere. Yeah, it was green.
Who knows? I probably had a top hat.
I'm sure we had one left over from like the St. Patrick's Day events or something like that. I had green beer on the stage once. That was fun. Mark Ennis brought it.
That was a good event.
A good one too. Guys, look. This is the deal. Southern States Conference is going to be an absolute banger this year. And what's going to make it better is if you come and hang out with us as well. That's where all of the fun is going to happen. It's going to be exciting. I want all of you to get excited about it and join us there and hang out at Southern States Conference. Yep. Kayla, do you agree? Is this going to be the best?
I'd love to see everybody at the beach with their support staff.
Good. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Everyone, we'll see you at Southern States.
Yep.